Hello! I've been thinking for a really long while about shooting this video, and finally I've decided to tell about methods and different techniques that I use every day in order to improve my German, so let's get it. The first thing I would like to tell about is of course music, so I listen to German music every day, and I'm going to explain you how this works. So basically,
how I listen to German music.
For me, it's a really important part of language learning process because I listen to diverse types of German music, and it helps me to understand the culture a lot better. For instance, if we're talking about rap songs, so yeah, I can learn lots of new slang expression from rap German songs, and I also, when I listen to music, I train my listening skills because for the first time when I hear a song, I try to understand what they sing about myself, and then I can write down the new words or expressions. So yeah, music actually just develops your listening skills. It helps you to grasp the information that you hear in another language better. And I guess that's it, that's how it works, and it just makes you feel more immersed into this language that you're learning in your target language. Another thing is that it brings me a lot of joy to listen to the songs that I've been listening for years, and to realize that finally I can understand merely everything that they sing about, and it's like one of the best feelings for me. I also would like to tell you that my passion and my love for German language started with music. So if you know about this worldwide popular rap singer called Cole, so yeah, that's where it all started. And I promised to myself that the day that I'll be able to read out loud his texts, that will mean that I've learned German. And right now I can do this. I can actually read the lyrics with him, and I do not just get confused or something. And I understand what he sings about. And I'm like, oh my god, am I really like making so much progress in German? Another thing that I do for improving my listening skills is listening to podcasts. But I would lie if I say that I do this every day, because that's quite an exhausting process, because it requires a lot more concentration, and you do not have the script. So some of the podcasts have scripts, but I prefer not to look at them. You should stay focused in order just not only to get the main idea, but to distinguish the words. So sometimes some single words that you do not understand, they make it difficult to get the main idea of the podcast itself. So if you do not understand some words, you need to look them up in the dictionary. You need to write them down if you really find them useful. So about the words, I'm going to tell you a bit later. But still, it's a really exhausting process, and I love listening to podcasts sometimes, just to hear this speech of native Germans. I can just turn on the podcast and put it on the background. Podcasts are really useful because they are usually divided into several topics, and it really helps you to boost your vocabulary in this or that sphere.
Why am I like this?
When you get exhausted from all this language process and the older methods do not seem to help you anymore, you can use a really great thing, and it's watching videos. Yeah, whether you watch a video on YouTube or on Instagram, so it's like one of my best things. I follow really cool bloggers on Instagram, so I just scroll my feed and every day, and that's why I just passively absorb German. One day it's just become the part of my life. And about YouTube videos, I have several YouTubers, I have several YouTube channels that I would like to recommend, so you can see their names here. If you want, I can of course tell you more about them. There are several ways in which I watch videos. The first one is that I just turn on the video and try to understand what they're talking about. but I do not pay attention to any expressions they use. I just attempt to understand what I already know, just grasp the main idea. Another way is that I just stop the video and try to find the words that I do not know, and after that I look up their meaning. But this process is a bit more tedious and it requires more time and energy, so it's just up to you. You can either train your listening skills and see how you just understand from the overall content, or you can pay more attention to words and phrases people use, but you should understand that it's not really so enjoyable. I've told a lot about listening aspect of language learning, but if you ask me how I train my reading skills, my answer would sound a bit odd, but
I read comments.
as I've said before, I follow quite a lot of German bloggers. I read their captions and after that I read comments below. And I read comments on YouTube, and it's a really useful method because you see how native German speakers communicate with one another, what language they use, so it helps you to learn some words from Umgangssprache. Looking at how Germans communicate with each other, you can also learn a lot about German irony and sarcasm. Another thing about reading is that I also read news. I use these websites, so there are lots of articles devoted to different topics, and it's just one of the most credible German news websites. I read some random articles. Yeah, it's actually so simple. I highly recommend this one. So I've learned a lot about psychology this way, expanding my vocabulary in different psychological topics. So yeah, lately I've discovered a really good app for German learners, but warning, it's made only for people who are on a B1 level. It is absolutely free, so there are lectures devoted to some particular topics, and it looks like an interactive textbook with exercises, and there is also a tutor that gives you additional exercises and you can communicate with this person. You can ask some questions, but I actually do not know how it works yet. And finally, I would like to tell you about how I learn new words, how I remember everything. I learned this one from my German teacher. From all the sources where I find new words, new expressions, new idioms or whatever, I mark the ones that are really significant and relevant and the ones that I can use in my daily speech, and I write them down in my notebook. And after that, your purpose is just to read out loud all these words and expressions every day. Of course, I'm quite lazy and the amount of words is just so big that I just do not have time for this. It gets exhausting from time to time, so yeah. If I do not read these words out loud, I just look through them, and very often I try to create a story using these words, and after that I start speaking to myself. Yeah, I just tell this story to myself, so that's how I build these associations in my head. So the next time I will be looking through my notebook, I already have all these associations, and it will make the process easier because every word is connected with some story that exists in your head. Apart from constructing associations, I would also recommend not only to write single words, but to put them in a content and try to write down sentences so you can see how the word can be used. What's more important is that these sentences should be, it's like my small recommendation, they should be connected with something that you can use in your everyday speech. That's how you will remember the sentence for a longer period of time, and in a stressful situation you will remember this word in this content and you will easily pronounce the whole sentence, and you can avoid all these confusing moments. So yeah, it's a really working method, and it's been tested not only on me but on a great amount of other students of German. Of course, these are not the only tricks that I use, but these are the ones that I turn to frequently and the ones that really help me throughout the day. My personal piece of advice to every of you: it's not the amount of work you do per day that determines the level of your language and the amount of progress you make. It's the consistency, and if you contribute every day, you will definitely see the result. Not immediately, of course, but you will definitely see that you're making progress day by day. So yeah, be consistent, be happy, learn German or any other of the languages. I hope that this video was at least a little bit helpful. Maybe I made you motivated.
I don't know actually.
I feel a bit excited about this because it's just a really known experience of me making videos and speaking English. I hope you liked it, and if so, let me know. Write something in the comments. I would think about making more videos dedicated to diverse topics, and I was really happy to share my own experience, my own knowledge with you. So stay safe and